Hello and welcome to another episode of Between Two Nerds, where if you have watched us before, or indeed listened to us before, you will know that each week we invite a small human being to join us and sit between us and have a little chat about science. And this week's small human is...
Yeah, I'm 5.5.
Mia, and you're 5.5. So you're a super small human being. But have you got a smaller sister?
Yeah.
So you're quite big.
Yeah, you're just playing over there.
Yeah,
She's just playing over there. Well,
okay.
Saying silly words.
Silly sisters say silly words. So do silly brothers. I can tell you that.
Okay. And you know the nerds. I am Mo.
And I'm Eugene.
Okay, Mia.
What would you like to chat about?
Germs.
Germs? What about germs?
Ooh.
Do you know any germs? Have you ever met a germ?
Germs don't see you.
Germs are,
Well, actually, yeah. They don't really have eyes, so yeah, they won't be able to see you. Yeah.
They don't even have arms or mouths.
They don't have arms, not even tiny arms. No legs.
Yeah.
No massive legs, no eyeballs.
Some of them can move, but it's more like they have like little things like hairs.
Do the
Sorry,
impression.
this is a germ, right? Moving along. So they have like these little hairs on their body, and they flap them, I guess. I'm looking for the right verb. They flap them, kind of like a fish, but
Very slowly.
yeah, they do move very slowly. So when we say germs, right, what we can actually mean quite a few different types of things.
Huh? Is it four?
For what?
Four main types of germs.
Bacteria. Yeah, bacteria.
Have you heard of bacteria?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Then we have viruses.
Yeah.
You heard of those?
Then I guess you can have fungi.
Fungi?
Fungi.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite terms. That.
And you said 4. I would have gone with 3.
Isn't it? Oh dear, challenge. Protozoa. That's it. Yeah, protozoa.
Protozoa.
That is a type of germ. So there's 4 types of germ.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite?
None.
None. Don't like any of those germs. Actually, some of those germs you would like. Some of those germs are your friends.
They're good germs.
Exactly.
So,
Very, very good.
Yeah, so the ones that, so we have all these things like, so all these tiny little living things, you're already disgusted. Okay. So they all these, on everything around us, there are all these tiny little things that we just can't see because they're so small. And if we want to see them, we need...
A microscope.
Very good. A microscope. Only with a microscope can we see these things. Yeah. And so you have things like bacteria, viruses, protozoa, protists, and fungi. All right?
Yeah.
Now, there are lots and lots of different types of these.
Yeah.
Okay? Even just on my body, there's probably more... Before you get
Human cells.
Stay away. Stay away.
So inside your body, you have about 50 to 100 trillion cells. So that's 50 with 12 zeros after it. It's a huge number, right?
It's not as big as a quintillion, though.
Yeah. But inside your body and on your body, you have more bacteria cells and virus cells and fungi and protists on your body.
Yeah.
So you could argue that we humans are more bacteria than we are human.
Yeah.
Mo is.
That's all right. It's rude. Okay, but now germs, though. So what we call germs are the ones of these like bacteria and all of this stuff that make us sick. Because most of them actually don't make you sick. They don't really care about us humans, right? But some of them are actually good for us.
Yeah.
So most of the bacteria love to live in our stomach. Well, not stomach, our gut. Right? There's all this stuff here, right? That's where they love to live. And they actually help us be healthy, a lot of them. But then there are a few mean little bacteria and viruses and fungi and protists that make us sick.
Yeah.
So
Even one type of one lays eggs.
one lays eggs. That would be. I mean, there are some bugs that
They
do.
multiply. So bacteria are super small. So all bacteria are little organisms. So they're little
Yeah.
creatures, let's imagine them, but they're one cell. So
Yeah.
they're single celled. And a virus kind of isn't even a cell.
Yeah.
So a virus needs to live in a cell to survive. So that's why viruses like to go into animals and people, and then they like to burrow in to, say, my cells, and that can make me sick. And once they're in the cell, then they can multiply. And you get more viruses and more viruses.
Yeah.
And then a big war goes on inside me.
Yeah.
Big battle.
Yeah, they kind of take over your cell, and they make your cells do things to keep the virus alive. So have you ever had the flu?
No.
No, that's good.
My mommy had a tummy flu.
A tummy flu, all right. So the flu, right? So we're getting into the flu season, I guess, right? So the flu is caused by a virus.
Yeah.
And the reason why we keep getting flus every year or so is because there are different types of viruses, right? That can give us the same flu.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
And
can spread too.
yeah, it spreads. So every time, so let's say I had the flu. I don't worry. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. And I sneeze. Now, I
just sneezed 2 times today.
That's great.
Perfect. Can you do it now? It's not easy to sneeze on demand.
No.
Okay, so let's say so when I was sneezing, I cover my mouth with my hand, right?
And
I
even
sneeze.
when you're coughing.
Even if I was coughing. Now, when I cough, the reason why I'm coughing and sneezing is because my body's trying to get that flu virus out of my body, and now it's on my hand. No, it's not actually. Okay, but let's pretend. That's how you should react, though. And then I touched, let's say, so I shook Eugene's hand. Now, where do you think the flu virus is?
On both hands.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then Eugene gave you a high five. Okay. Now where do you think the flu virus is?
Even my hand.
Yeah. And then let's say next time there was like a plate of cookies here, and you didn't wash your hands before you grabbed the cookie, right? And you grabbed it and you ate it. Now where do you think the flu virus is?
In your tummy.
Yep, there you go. That's how it spreads. So so that's how, and it can spread really easily. So you know what the best way to cough and sneeze is? Right, you don't use your hands. Whenever you do the vampire cough. So it's sort of sneeze. So you sneeze like that. Like a vampire. This is my vampire impression, right? So that's the best way to do it. So you don't get it on your hands. And also, before you eat, always wash your hands or use hand sanitizer, right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
But you still need to wash your hands if you use hand.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can be really unlucky because viruses, while they need to live in a cell to kind of be alive, they can live for a little while not in a cell. So if you were really unlucky, you could just open a door, and on that door handle, the person before you may have just coughed into their hand, virus, and they put a virus on a doorknob.
Rude.
And then you can be really unlucky and touch that doorknob, and then that virus moves to your hand while it's still alive. So that's why it's super important to just wash your hands as often as you can.
Yeah.
And you stay nice and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But a lot of bacteria, now where scientists are finding out, they're actually really important to keep us healthy. So we have lots of different types of bacteria that live inside our gut, but even on our body. So the reason why some people might have smelly armpits is because there's a bacteria. Again, you're looking at me like I'm describing myself. I'm not. So because there's a bacteria that live just in your armpits, and what they love to eat is sweat.
Ew.
Yuck.
Okay, so as you sweat, they love to eat that sweat, and they release chemicals that give us that armpit smell. And the same thing for your feet. Then you have different bacteria that live on your face as well.
Yuck.
So some that live Usually would have less, but there's some that live on your hair.
Very
that
lucky.
live in your different types that live on
Fleas
you.
in your hair.
Hopefully not, but yeah.
I know she's saying there's fleas.
Oh, right, in my hair. I hope not. Well, there isn't.
Sometimes you get them in your hair.
Yeah, sometimes you do. And lice and
Yeah.
nits as well. Those are the eggs of the lice, right?
Yes, the lice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where humans are kind of disgusting creatures, I guess. But that's normal. Like all this bacteria is super important though to keep us healthy. Like, a lot of the food that we eat, our body, our cells don't actually use them for anything. So let's say you had a piece of toast. Now,
Peanut butter on it.
It's a lot more appetizing.
And then put something else.
I'd have jam.
So one of the
Jam or honey.
Jam. Red jam.
yeah. So one of the chemicals in one of the nutrients in that toast is called fiber. Mm-hmm. Now, our body, we don't actually use the fiber. Okay, but that fiber goes down to our gut, and it's just there to feed the bacteria in your gut. And then if they're healthy, we're healthy as well. So it's really important to take care of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like pets.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah. They're with you wherever you go.
Yeah.
They look out for you. Some of them do, at least. Right? And some of them actually fight off other germs that get into your body. And
One of them.
yeah, so some of them, some of the ways that we actually, let's say, get rid of germs is because scientists actually study these bacteria, and they find out that these bacteria, some of them have these weapons that they use to fight off the other germs. There's a scientist, his name was Alexander Fleming, right? And he had left out a piece of, let's say, toast, right, out for a very long time. Okay. Now, what happens to bread if you leave it out for very long, like a week? Does it look?
Does it change
fine?
colour?
Does it change color?
It does. I'm glad you don't know.
Yeah.
Changes a bit more dark.
Yeah, it does. Okay, it goes dark. Then you start to see that these green, it starts to go a bit white and then a bit green, because there's one of these germs, let's say, that we were talking about called fungi, right? That starts to grow on the bread. And usually at that point, throw it away. Don't eat it, please. But Alexander Fleming, he found that this fungi that was growing on the bread, when it was next to another dish of bacteria, right? None of the bacteria could grow around that fungi because it was releasing this chemical called penicillin that was fighting off all the other germs around it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what he did, he took that and he turned it into the medicine we call penicillin that saved lots and lots of lives because it's really good at fighting off germs.
Yeah.
Yeah. We call it an antibiotic.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yep, got it. It's gone in.
We've got medicine at home.
Yeah, very important medicine.
It's normally in a syringe.
Syringe.
Yeah, I know that one.
Okay. Is it?
My house is full of that medicine. Is it pink?
Orange.
Orange, we've got a pink one.
I don't have kids, so.
Yeah, I'm constantly syringing children
Really?
with medicines.
Injecting.
No.
Just into the mouth. Okay. I was like,
Oh, no. Constantly going around injecting.
Things have changed since I was a kid.
No. It is a syringe that goes in
Put
the
it
mouth.
into the mouth.
All right. Okay. I thought things really changed.
So that would be frowned upon.
Yeah.
And if you don't wash it, you can get germs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't wash it.
Yeah.
Got to wash everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
With soap.
So are bacteria our friends?
Yeah.
Yep, they are. Some are.
Pets.
Yeah. Our pets.
Name them. Give
Yeah.
each individual one a name, and they become much friendlier.
You can, if you had a microscope, you could actually do this. Like if you went to the beach and took some water from the beach, right? Got a little drop of that and looked under a microscope, you'd see unbelievably huge amount of living things moving around in just that tiny little drop of water. Isn't that crazy? So the scientist, so the scientist that discovered this, this person who invented the microscope, his name was Anton von Leeuwenhoek, who's Dutch. He wasn't actually a scientist. He used just a little cloth, and he invented this microscope to see how good the thread in the cloth was. And then I guess he got bored of doing that, so he went and got a little drop of water from the pond and put that underneath the microscope, and he looked at that little drop very closely, and he could see these things swimming around in there.
There probably be things that whales eat.
Like plankton? Yeah, they're very small living creatures as well. I think you can see plankton. Can you
Can you see it?
Yeah, could you? Is it like big enough to see?
So,
Plankton, like you see it as a speck?
well, it depends what you call plankton. So plankton is normally little little plants. So most of it's green little plants.
Phytoplankton.
But you do get, some of it is quite big, or what we call krill, which gets mixed up. There, that size.
Water bears are like, so there's one of the things you might see in this little...
Water bears.
Yeah, water bears.
Water bears.
They're so cute.
Water bears.
Yeah, so...
They're like, they're bears that eat fish from the pond.
No, not like a grizzly hunting salmon, but they're like these tiny, tiny, tiny creatures. And you can just about see one. I mean, you wouldn't be able to see any detail with your eye, but if you look under the microscope, you'll see that this tiny little living thing, and it has like six arms with claws at the end, and like a little mouth, like a sucker mouth, right? And it goes around in the water. I'm guessing that's why the water bear. They're actually called tardigrades, but water bear is a lot cooler.
They live in land as well. They're like moss.
Do they? Yeah. And they go around eating things. But what's so cool about these water bears is they can pretty much survive anything. So you could put them on a rocket, like on the outside of the rocket, and shoot them into space. Right? And they would survive in space. The way they do it is actually just kind of go to sleep, because there's no food or anything around for them to survive on. So they go to sleep, and then when they reach a place where there's water again and there's food, they wake back up and they just go about their business.
And they're cute.
Did you enjoy that, Mia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything? Maybe nothing.
Few
Not
things
really.
about germs. Well, we learned that bacteria are kind of our friends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Eugene's mostly bacteria than human. That's why he smells so funny.
And Mo's armpits smell. And there's little bacteria that like to eat his smelly sweat.
All right.
And he's got fleas in his hair.
Oh, all right. No, I do not.
Just think of what we learned. Yeah. These are the things we learned today.
No, I do not have fleas.
He'll be checking. I promise you he'll be checking.
I will now. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mia. You were awesome.
Yeah.
Give me a little high five. There we go.
Little high five, and then I'll go and wash my hands. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll wash our hands.
Do you want to wave at the little camera in the middle?
That one there?
You
want to wave?
I'll wave for you.
Yep.
Thank you very much,
Thank you guys for listening and watching.